The European Chess Union General Assembly, Porto, Carras, the 5th of November 2011. We can divide the report on the activities performed by the European Chess Union during the previous 12 months in 4 chapters. Chapter 1: ECU Office Business Operations. Berlin Office Handover. The ECU Secretary General and Executive Director stayed in Berlin from the 2nd until the 4th of November 2010 and performed the handover of duties and material between the previous and new administration. The handover was performed with full cooperation of the former Secretary General Mr. Metzing and his associates from the German Chess Federation. The handover of the financial documents was performed by the former Treasurer and now the ECU bookkeeper, Mr. Gretener. Belgrade Office Opening. At the first meeting held in Hanti-Mansisk, the European Chess Union Board decided that the ECU office should be established in Belgrade, the capital of Serbia. The new European Chess Union office was officially opened in Belgrade on Wednesday, the 12th of January 2011. The opening speeches were delivered by Silvio Danailov, the ECU president, and Dejan Vasovic, Belgrade deputy mayor. On behalf of the ECU, Silvio Danailov thanked the Belgrade mayor Dragan Đilas for supporting his program and for providing comfortable facilities which the ECU would use free of charge. The opening ceremony was attended by many representatives of the political and sports institutions, as well as the representatives of the neighboring chess federations and members of the ECU board. The company was particularly pleased with the presence of the legendary Grandmaster Mr. Svetozar Gligoric. Contacts with federations. Concerning the handover of new addresses and data, the announcements were sent to all the relevant addresses. The standard was introduced. Replies to simple letters and questions would be sent within 24 hours, while more complex questions that need to be discussed and covered with documents would be answered within 72 hours. ECU Newsletter. Some steps concerning the improvement of the information system were made, and the ECU has published a newsletter every week with all the current information concerning our work, so as the most important information concerning the work of national chess federations. The first newsletter was published on the 11th of October 2010. Public Relations. The ECU PR officer was hired. Weekly ECU newsletter and press releases were sent to all European federations' addresses, as well as other relevant email addresses. A full database of journalists was also created and updated on a regular basis. In addition, profiles were created on 2 social networks, Facebook and Twitter. Facebook account ECU Chess Journalist Club was activated as well. Chapter 2: ECU Officials' Activities. President Silvio Danailov visited 14 national federations during the first year of his mandate: Armenia, Azerbaijan, Belgium, Bulgaria, Cyprus, Georgia, Guernsey, Ireland, Jersey, Luxembourg, Monaco, Poland, Romania and Serbia. In Belgrade, on the 14th of January, President Danailov had meeting with Vlade Divac, the president of the Serbian Olympic Committee, a basketball legend and former Los Angeles Lakers and Sacramento Kings player. During the meeting, special attention was given to the development and popularization of chess among young people. Divac gave his full support to the ECU activities and stated that the Serbian Olympic Committee will do the best to help with the development of projects for receiving support from the international funds. Cyprus, the 13th of February. President Silvio Danailov visited Cyprus. The hosts were the President of the Cyprus Chess Federation, Mr. Christoforos Tornaritis, and the Secretary General, Mr. Paris Kleridis. Danailov and his hosts discussed the further development and popularization of chess in Cyprus. The hosts announced the possibility that Cyprus, for the first time in history, becomes the host of an official European Championship in the near future. Mr. Theodoros Tsorbazoglu, an ECU board member, was also present during the conversation. Georgia, the 15th of February. Having received an invitation from the President of the Georgian Chess Federation, Silvio Danailov, the President of the European Chess Union, visited Georgia and spent 2 days in Tbilisi. During his stay, Danailov had a few meetings, 2 of which were receptions by the Minister of Sport and Youth Affairs of Georgia, Mr. Lado Varzelashvili, and the Mayor of Tbilisi, Mr. Ubilava. The hosts introduced Danailov with the details of their offer to organize the European Individual Women's Championship in May this year. Brussels, the 21st of March. Meetings with the European Commissioner for Education, Culture, Multilingualism and Youth, Ms. Androula Vasilou, and European Commissioner for International Cooperation, Humanitarian Aid and Crisis Response, Mrs. Kristalina Georgieva. During the meeting, Ms. Vasilou and Mr. Danailov discussed the joint project of the European Chess Union and Kasparov Chess Foundation, Chess in School, which is concerned with the implementation of the ancient game in the educational system of the European countries. Ms. Vasilou gave her full support for the project. El Ain, from the 4th until the 7th of June. The President of the European Chess Union, Mr. Silvio Danailov, participated in the FIDE Presidential Board in El Ain, the United Arab Emirates. During the board meeting, Mr. Danailov made a report concerning the progress of the ECU activities since the previous FIDE Presidential Board, which was held in Antalya, Turkey, from the 3rd until the 6th of February 2011. Iași, the 22nd of July. Silvio Danailov was present at the European Youth Team Championship closing ceremony, as well as other ECU board members. ECU President Mr. Silvio Danailov awarded the first prize to the champions from Poland. Mr. Danailov and the board members also met with the mayor of Iași, Mr. Gheorghe Nikita. Jersey, the 5th of October. ECU President Silvio Danailov met with the Minister of Education, Sport and Culture, Mr. James Reed. Mr. Reed promised his full support for the program Chess in Schools, which hopefully will be implemented very soon in all schools in Jersey. Ireland, the 3rd of October. Silvio Danailov met with the Irish Minister for Environment, Community and Local Government, Mr. Phil Hogan. The Minister promised his full support for the project Chess in Schools from all 13 Irish MPs in the EU Parliament. Mr. Hogan also promised that the Irish government will very soon recognize chess as a sport in Ireland. Guernsey, the 7th of October. Silvio Danailov had meeting with the Minister of Education, Mr. John Bridle. Together with the President of Guernsey Chess Federation, Mr. Fred Hamperl, they discussed the ECU project Chess in Schools. Mr. Bridle promised his full support for the project and wished a lot of success to the new ECU management in the future. Baku, the 8th of October. President Danailov had meeting with the Azerbaijan Republic Youth and Sport Minister Mr. Azad Rahimov, President of the Azerbaijan Chess Federation Dr. Alman Rustamov, and Mr. Mair Mamedov, Vice President of the Azerbaijan Chess Federation. Yerevan, the 14th of October. ECU President Mr. Danailov visited Yerevan, in Armenia, where he met with the President of the Republic of Armenia and the President of the Armenian Chess Federation, Mr. Serge Sargsyan. During his stay in Yerevan, Mr. Danailov also visited schools where he observed chess classes, following which he visited the chess house after Tigran Petrosyan and chess academy, where he had discussions with the authorities of the Armenian Chess Federation, Vice President Symbat Liputian and Secretary General Mr. Oganessian. Secretary General Sava Stoisavljevic also visited many national federations during the last 12 months. These are some of the most significant activities and meetings. Serbia, the 5th of November 2010, Transatlantic Cup. The Secretary General attended the opening ceremony of the so-called Transatlantic Cup between the University of Belgrade and the University of Texas in Dallas via internet. There were also discussions on the continuation of a very successful cooperation with the UTD in the field of the organization and awarding of youth competitions. Opening speeches were given by basketball legend Vlade Divac, the president of the Serbian Olympic Committee, and the ECU Secretary General Sava Stoisavljevic. The 8th of June 2011. The President of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, made the official visit to Belgrade. By protocol, President Aliyev and his host, the President of Serbia, Boris Tadic, formally opened the monument in the renovated Central Park in Belgrade, Tashmaidan. The newly renovated park contains a very beautiful section dedicated to chess. During their visit to Tashmaidan Park, Tadic and Aliyev were introduced with the chess section, and there they met the European Chess Union Secretary General Sava Stoisavljevic and Executive Director Vladimir Shakotic. The Faroe Islands, from the 18th until the 22nd of August. Small Nations Championship. During her visit to the Faroe Islands and the second Small Nations Championship, the European Chess Union Secretary General Sava Stoisavljevic organized a meeting with the representatives of the Small Nations Federations. The representatives of all 10 nations were present at the meeting. During the closing ceremony, on behalf of the ECU and President Silvio Danailov, ECU Secretary General Sava Stoisavljevic presented an award to the winning team of Luxembourg, a gift voucher for free accommodation, including full board, at the European Team Championship 2011. Chapter 3. ECU Tournaments. There were 5 major chess tournaments since the last General Assembly. The European Club Cup, held from the 16th until the 24th of October 2010 in Plovdiv, Bulgaria. FIDE President Kirsan Ilyumzhinov, ECU President Silvio Danailov, the President of the Bulgarian Chess Federation Stefan Sergeyev, and Deputy Mayor of the city of Plovdiv Georgi Tityukov greeted the players and guests. There were 49 teams in open section and 14 teams in women's section. The tournament was held in Novotel Hotel, and the conditions provided were excellent. ECU Secretary General Sava Stoisavljevic officially closed the European Club Cup. European Individual Championship, held from the 21st of March until the 3rd of April 2011 in Aix-les-Bains, France. There were 393 players from 42 countries at this successful competition, 163 of which were grandmasters. The European Individual Women's Championship, held from the 6th until the 19th of May 2011 in Tbilisi, Georgia. Ms. Sava Stoisavljevic officially opened the European Individual Women's Chess Championship, which took place in an excellent hall of the Sheraton Hotel. There were 130 chess players from 26 countries at the competition, and the prize fund was the highest in the history of women competitions, 110,000 euros. The European Individual Women's Championship was officially closed by the ECU President Mr. Silvio Danailov. The European Youth Championship, held from the 10th until the 21st of September 2011 in Albana, Bulgaria. ECU President Mr. Silvio Danailov attended the European Youth Championship opening ceremony. The championship was officially opened on 10th of September by the Bulgarian Minister of Physical Education and Sports, Mr. Svilen Neikov. There were a record-breaking number of participants, 1,039 participants from 48 European federations, with almost 1,000 accompanying persons. The European Club Cup, held from the 24th of September until the 2nd of October 2011 in Rogaška Slatina, Slovenia. The last of the major 5 tournaments was complimented for the excellent organization and great atmosphere. There were 62 teams in open section, which was the second highest number in the tournament history, and 11 teams in women's section. In addition, we will mention the remaining 11 tournaments. European Rapid and Blitz Chess Championship, European Senior Championship, European Senior Team Championship, European Women's Rapid Chess Championship, European School Team Championship, European Youth Team Championship, European Amateur Championship, EU Youth Championship, European Youth Rapid and Blitz Championships, Mitropa Cup, and the European Individual School Championship. Chapter 4. ECU Projects. UNESCO. Even before the elections in the European Chess Union, Mr. Danailov met with the Director General of UNESCO, Ms. Irina Bokova, in Paris. The Director General emphasized the fact that chess is more than just a game, as it helps develop human relation skills, overcoming many barriers in society. At the end of 2010, as the result of the discussion, the European Chess Union Office prepared 3 projects, which were the proposals for cooperations with UNESCO in the fields of education and social and human sciences. The projects are Chess in Schools, Chess as Hope, and Chess as Means to Fight the Drug Addiction. In the near future, the contract on the cooperation in these areas will be signed between UNESCO and the European Chess Union. Chess in Schools. The European Chess Union began the activities concerning chess in schools with creating the Commission for Chess in Schools. Mr. Jan Kallevaart, a successful businessman from Belgium, was appointed the president of the Commission. Mr. Kallevaart made an extraordinary contribution to the project, with providing a donation in the amount of 100,000 euros. Certainly the most important event was in Brussels on the 20th of September. The president of the European Chess Union, Silvio Danailov, and the chess legend Garry Kasparov presented with a great success the project Chess in Schools during the public hearing in the European Parliament. The event was held under the high patronage of the President of the European Parliament, Professor Jerzy Buzek. The press conference after the presentation was attended by many international journalists who came especially for the event. At the cocktail after the public hearing, in a short speech, the world's most legendary chess player Garry Kasparov gave his special thanks to the President of the European Chess Union, Mr. Silvio Danailov, for his full support and partnership in this joint project. After the public hearing, a simultaneous chess session was held in the President's private saloon with the special participation of Mr. Garry Kasparov and the chess queen Judith Polgar, who played simultaneously against 14 children. Chess as Life. Since the beginning of its operations, the European Chess Union Office has been working on the realization of the promise made during the elections, which is finding the best solution for the issues of life and pension insurance for chess professionals throughout Europe. It is very well known that chess as profession is not a part of any similar system. The proposals for cooperation were delivered by many familiar insurance companies. At the moment, we are in the final stage of negotiation with MetLife Company, which is the leading company in the field of life insurance. Beside the cooperation in the above-mentioned field, MetLife Company agreed to become sponsor for some of the programs for youth within the European Chess Union during the first 3 years of the project. Life and pension insurance package for chess players will have a symbolic name, Chess as Life, and upon signing the contract, the European Chess Union will offer similar contracts to all national federations. Chess Palace. European Chess Palace is the project which started during the previous 4-year ECU mandate, with special support provided by the ECU president from that period, Mr. Boris Kutin. The municipality of Herceg Novi gave a free-of-charge lot that amounts to 1.5 million euros for the construction of the property. The European Chess Union financed the awards for the preliminary design at the open competition. The results of the open competition were published on the 5th of December 2010. The total amount of the investment is around 4 million euros. At the moment, we are in the final stage of negotiation with the municipality of Herceg Novi and Southern Eastern Europe Green Energy Consortium. The application of 2.5 million euros needs to be handed in until the 25th of November. This will be provided by the Southeast Europe Transnational Cooperation Program. We expect the commencement of the construction in autumn 2012. What makes the project unique is the fact that it is the first in the region which is completely ecological and it will use renewable sources of energy. ECU Online. The European Chess Union and Convecta Company signed a contract, and as partners they expressed the desire for promoting the playing chess zone in Europe and for organizing of a series of commercial chess competitions using internet technologies. The new playing chess zone is named ECU Online, and it will be available to chess fans from all around the world by the end of this year. In 2012, the European Chess Union, beside the promotion of this type of chess, expects great financial gain from this project.